Hi, you're watching Hexus TV, and we're here today at Swindon's Museum of Computing, which is relaunching, and we're here with Simon Webb, who's the curator of the museum. Hi, Simon.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Tell us a bit about the museum and the relaunch.
The museum's been going for 6 years now. Previously, we were in the University of Bath in Swindon's campus,
right.
where that gave us a fantastic start, but unfortunately the university pulled out of Swindon. That's left us homeless for the past year.
Okay.
So we've gone into storage. We've got an enormous collection, something like 3,000 items of hardware,
right.
magazines, software. So we've been looking in the last year for new premises, and here it is in Swindon Town Centre, prime location, absolutely fantastic. We're very excited about this, and so are a lot of other people.
And you've been involved in the project from the start then?
I have indeed, yeah. Myself and Jeremy Holt have been working on the Museum of Computing since the start, and seeing it sort of gradually build up and grow and get more and more support. We've got fantastic support from Intel and Blue Clip PR now, our main sponsors, so yeah, things are looking good.
I guess you've been a collector of antique computers since before then, maybe?
I did, actually. I was collecting machines. I had about 150 machines at one point, sort of stashed under the bed and in cupboards. And of course, when we found premises for the museum, my wife was absolutely delighted. So,
oh, good, good. So you've got about 3,000 or so bits and pieces from the history of computing, and you've got a few here to show the public.
Indeed.
We're going to have a little look, I think.
Yeah, we've got a VIP launch party tonight, so we just selected a few interesting objects from the collection just to sort of generate some conversation. Okay,
well, take us around, let's have a little look.
This is a fantastic piece of kit. Look, this was the control panel from a computer called the Atlas, and this was from the University of London Atlas. The guy who worked on this, basically, when it was decommissioned, he took some of the items that were going to be scrapped and took them home, and they were sort of passed on to his son. And this was actually, we found this in a shed not far from where we are now, being used to control a model railway layout.
Right.
So all these toggle switches were actually sort of switching the points. So we found out about this and decided that this sort of piece of computing history had to be preserved. So,
and what was it used for before it became a controller?
Well, this controlled what's called the core store. That's a magnetic core store on it. So everything was set up with these toggle switches. So this dates from about 1963. So it's quite an early piece of sort of third generation computing
45,
hardware.
46 years old.
Yeah, indeed.
First transistor computer,
it was
possibly?
one of the first transistorized computers, yeah. So as opposed to the sort of power-hungry valve machines, you know, very unreliable, transistors were just coming in, the new germanium transistors. So this was a sort of milestone, really. So it was, one of the world's first supercomputers.
Okay, wow. Right, let's move on.
We're going to wander over to one of my favourite machines. This is the Commodore Pet from 1977. One of the first sort of all-in-one, out-the-box plug-and-play machines. You can see it's got a built-in 9-inch monochrome monitor. This funny little keyboard that shows its sort of legacy from calculators, actually, because CBM, who built this, before this they were making calculators. So we've got this chiclet keyboard. Data storage on it is in fact a normal sort of audio cassette. So,
and I believe we can have a little look inside that.
We can have a look inside if you needed to work on this machine. You've got this wonderful lift-up lid. We've even got a little stand car bonnet style. So there you go. You can work on your motherboard to your heart's content. So that was the first sort of personal computer I ever sort of came across and programmed. I used to program that in my lunchtime.
And you could get into it to have a fiddle around as well?
Absolutely. If you needed to upgrade the hardware, add more memory chips, and
just like now.
It's fairly easy to do. So it holds a special place in my heart, the Commodore Pet. So as does the next item, which is an Atari 2600 games console.
Familiar to a few people, I would
Familiar to a lot of people, I'd imagine. Yeah, this was one of the first games consoles that used plug-in cartridges, so your different games are on different cartridges, which was a bit of a breakthrough. Before that, the TV tennis games had basically the game sort of hardwired in, so this was a bit of a revolution.
And you've got the joystick.
Got the joystick, got the
paddles.
This one's affectionately known to collectors as the Woody because of the lovely 1970s wood grain finish on that.
Fantastic, that's very classy.
This was a successful machine, but its sales rocketed when they launched the Space Invaders cartridge for it in 1979. Up to that point, the only place you could play Space Invaders was on an arcade cabinet. So launching Space Invaders on this, sales just absolutely shot through the roof. So.
And how much did that cost when it came out?
Not sure actually. It was, I think it was about $200 when it first came out in the States. So fairly expensive machine, but this was groundbreaking.
Wow. Okay. What else are you going to show us?
If you think of Star Trek and the Borg, if the Borg had computers, I think they'd look like this. This is called the Next Cube. It's a sort of 12-inch cube of metal, a very high-spec machine. And if we all think of the World Wide Web, that was developed on one of these machines by Tim Berners-Lee. So a very significant machine, very high-spec in its day.
So Tim Berners-Lee was sat on a machine much like this.
He was sat on a machine much like this, a Next Cube.
Inventing the web.
Indeed. So very significant machine.
Wow. Okay.
Right. If we have a wander over, no micro exhibition is really sort of complete without the BBC Micro.
Now this is still older than me, but we're getting into the area of computers that I've actually used.
Absolutely.
I used these at primary school.
This is where a lot of people will recognise the BBC from. It was used a lot in schools.
Yeah.
It was a very robust, very well put together machine. Not the cheapest, but it did a fantastic job. And we found one school that was still using it up to about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So as I say, it's instantly recognisable, the BBC, and we couldn't really have an exhibition without one.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We'll just go over to my particular favourite machine, which is the Sinclair ZX81. This was what I cut my programming teeth on. So I bought one of these machines. You could either sort of buy it ready-made, or in fact you could save £20 and buy it as a kit. So
build it yourself.
Build it yourself. You had to solder all the
Soldering
components
iron.
in. Yeah, indeed. So I did that on a Saturday afternoon, and by Saturday evening I was programming. Very limited sort of capability. I mean, you have this funny sort of membrane keyboard, which took some severe getting used to. You had to really use a sort of rolling action with it rather than tapping. Okay. And you had 1K of memory. That's 1K.
It's not a lot.
Not 1 meg or 1 gig.
No,
1K.
No.
So
we've got some peripherals as well.
We do. If you felt like splashing out, there was a massive 16K RAM pack which would go on the back. The back connector was a bit dodgy, so there was a thing known as the dreaded RAM pack wobble. So you could spend hours typing in a program listing from one of the magazines, and get the RAM pack wobble, and that's it. Your program was gone. So ended up in tears. There's also the very strange Sinclair printer, which used aluminized paper, so it used to burn the aluminium layer off the top to leave the black underneath. So
sort of an early thermal printer.
Yeah, it's sort of thermal. It was a very low cost printer. That was why it used that particular technology, just to keep the cost down. It was sort of £50 for a printer, whereas at the time, you had to pay many hundreds of pounds for something else.
Okay. Wow.
So that started my career in sort of IT. Was programming the ZX81 in my bedroom.
So you sat in your bedroom typing away like that?
I did, hunched over the keyboard, yes, desperately sad, but enormous fun.
Great. Okay. I believe this is one of the first portable/luggable computers.
Yeah, it's portable as long as you're a fairly sort of strapping lad. It's quite a weight. This is the Osborne 1. And as you can see, it's got a tiny screen. It's about a 5-inch diagonal screen. But you could display a sort of whole page on it by sort of scrolling across.
Monochrome or colour?
It was monochrome, green screen.
Green, good.
Colour didn't come in until sort of quite a bit later. Dual 5.25-inch floppy drives either side.
Yeah.
This was a very important business machine. This was the first time somebody could actually carry a computer with them, and in fact it would go underneath the seat of an aircraft. So it sold phenomenally, very, very successful. It was also bundled with software, which at the time was quite a unique idea. So you had a complete computing package. Okay. What they made the mistake of doing was announcing the Osborne 2 while they were still selling the Osborne 1. Subsequently, nobody bought the Osborne 1 anymore, and the company folded.
Oh dear.
And this, to this day, is known as the Osborne effect.
Fantastic. Okay, anything else you'd like to show us?
I think that's about it. I think that's the main item. So
okay, so you're opening tonight.
We've got the launch party tonight. We're open to the public from 8th of August is the plan.
Yeah.
But keep an eye on the website just to see if there's any changes on there.
Okay, and what's the website?
www.museumofcomputing.org.uk.
Right. Okay, and we'll put that on the website as well. You're watching Hexis TV here at the Computing Museum in Swindon. Thanks for watching.